holistic nutritional consultant Jenn Matney is back, and this time she's covering 3 easy modifications you can make to your diet to get on the right track to healthy eating.
Hello and welcome back to Food Positive, where we explore all different nutrition topics so that we can take a preventative look at our health and start using food as medicine. Now, here on Food Positive, we like to simplify matters as much as we possibly can. And nutrition is one of those sticky, complicated, and confusing categories to really pin down. For example, I get questions all the time. People say, Jen, you know where I need to be going. You know what I need to be doing in order to live a healthier life. Give it to me straight in a couple of sentences, make it really simple, and let me know what I should be doing. People ask, should I be vegan or should I live a paleo lifestyle? Should I be eating 5 or 6 small meals a day, or should I fast for some part of the day? And one constant question I get is, will I even lose weight if I eat fewer calories? So I know nutrition can be incredibly confusing for some people, and I know it can feel really overwhelming. So today, we're gonna try to simplify matters using a nutritional framework by Dr. Peter Attia. Now, Dr. Attia created this simplified nutritional understanding, and he tailors it based on what we understand about eating. There are 3 levers, and they include what we eat, how much we eat, and when we eat. And in order to make different positive or preventative health changes in our diets, we'll pull those levers as needed. So the first lever is what we eat, or what we choose not to eat. And I like to call this dietary choice. Some other nutrition experts might refer to it as dietary restriction. And dietary choice means that, some of us as individuals have different digestive systems. We have different needs. And so there are some whole foods that we can struggle to properly digest. And then you add in a whole category of processed food-like substances that everyone has difficulty digesting. It can clog up our systems. It can create inflammation in our bodies. And so when we look at this first lever to pull, what to eat, we're focusing on finding those foods that are health preventative for us, that are food positive for us, and choosing to eat those foods on a regular basis. So that's that first lever. The next lever involves how much we eat or choose not to eat. I like to call this calorie choice. Again, in the nutrition field, often it's referred to as calorie restriction or caloric restriction. And you might be familiar with that term. We know throughout the year there are times of heavy eating or less eating. For instance, the holidays are right around the corner, and most of us get together with family and friends. We might be set up in front of a table full of delicious foods. After the dinner or the afternoon lunch, we might be full to the brim. You might not even be able to think about taking another bite or moving. You might feel sluggish or bloated or slow to react or move. And this is often what happens in our bodies when we overeat. So overeating can cause this sluggishness. It can kind of wear down our metabolic systems and create inflammation in our bodies. So pulling this lever means that we're choosing to focus on our caloric choices. Instead of overeating on a regular basis, we might focus on eating until we're about 80% full, which is what scientific studies usually show offers a preventative health benefit. So pulling that lever, we are focused on eating until we're about 80% full. The last lever, or the third lever, involves when to eat or when we choose not to eat. I like to call it time choice. Often it's referred to as time restriction. It can also be referred to as fasting or intermittent fasting. And hold your horses, hold your horses. I do want to kind of normalize this because I think I might be losing some of you out there. So fasting can be a really overwhelming thought for some people. But often it's relatively common. For instance, when we eat dinner, we often fast until after that meal, until breakfast time. And we're usually asleep, but when we eat breakfast, the term itself, breakfast, means to break the fast that we were engaging in while sleeping. And often as you go about your day, you might be fasting for small periods of the day in between meal times. In fact, if you are a religious or if you are a spiritual person, you might regularly engage in fasts or intermittent fasting throughout the year based on your spirituality. So fasting is actually an incredibly common activity for humans to engage in, especially if you look at the history of human food consumption. So fasting, this last lever, we're talking about when to eat. So instead of, if we're not pulling this lever, we might be regularly eating as much as we want all the time. Instead, in pulling this lever, we might focus on consuming food within a specific and shortened eating window of the day. For some individuals, it works to consume food between breakfast and dinner. That in and of itself is a minor fast because you're fasting while you're sleeping. But as we shorten that window, we actually experience increased preventative health benefits. So you could go to lunch and dinner, or you could focus on a specific 4-hour period of the day that works for you and your schedule in order to eat during that window. So that's pulling that last lever of when to eat. Dr. Attia's levers are incredibly helpful to simplify the complicated nature of nutrition. They're really easy to understand, they're easy to put in place in our lives, and they're really easy to tailor for our different lifestyles or schedules or preferences, which is incredibly important because nutrition is so individualized. So let's remind ourselves the 3 levers are what to eat, how much to eat, and when to eat. And if we're looking at this nutritional framework in terms of preventative health, we're going to be looking at always pulling at least one of those levers. If we go away for the holidays, or maybe we go away for a weekend, we know we've put some foods in our bodies we don't normally consume, or maybe we've overeaten in some fashion, or we've eaten at all times of day and night in order to have fun and enjoy ourselves. We might pull 2 of those levers. And if we're looking at taking a little bit more of an advanced stance on preventative health, we might actually pull all 3 levers. And this is, Dr. Attia actually puts this a little bit more bluntly. He states, always pull 1 lever, often pull 2 levers, and sometimes or occasionally pull all 3. And what I love about this framework is that it really allows us as individuals to identify what will work, which lever works for us, which lever makes us feel more food positive and more engaged with preventing health issues, as well as what works for us at different times in our lives and what will work for our schedule. So I do want to say, before starting any diet or fasting regimen, please take the time to go to your doctor or physician and make sure that health choice is right for you and your health status at this time. Now we're going to be signing off. If you have any questions, send them, any nutrition or health questions, please send them to the local scene at PAC TV. We really would love to tackle those issues that mean the most to you. Thank you guys, and goodbye.
For more tips on nutrition, listen to Jenn's free podcast at eatpositivebepositive.com.